Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live Test Labs, race number 6. We're out on the Watopia Hilly Reverse course again. This week we're heading on over to Watopia Reverse specifically to have more opportunities for power-ups, as there are 3 different places out on the course in order to gain what it's going to be the lap finish banner, the KOM, as well as the sprint section out on course. Being the reverse, we're going to head on over toward the SCs first, so heading over toward the volcano kind of, but not taking that right hand turn over to the volcano through the SCs. That sprint section is going to be the first place where we will have those power-ups. Make sure to be watching to see if you are in the race what might be a difference, as we're looking to try and advance some of the tactics that are around power-ups. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Community Live Test Labs, this is all about tweaking little things in the game, specifically around racing, in order to create more of an esport tactical dynamic in the races and change things up just to kind of have a different kind of a game mode, right? Like lots of different games that are out there in the world of gaming, and online competitive multiplayer gaming specifically have a lot of different game modes that they do test and they do try. And so essentially what we're recreating here with Zwift Community Live Test Labs is a live broadcast where we can do an esports-like experience with the broadcast alongside some changes to the game modes. Now, they're not major changes, like all of a sudden we have a velodrome or all of a sudden we have a new course or something like that, but they're minor changes to try and get things at the most basic level as tuned in as we want to around certain game modes that maybe in the future we could see. So good to see everybody hanging out in the broadcast. We are live over on Facebook, we are live on Twitch, we are live as well on YouTube and Mixer. So if you prefer any of those platforms, make sure to head on over there, push that follow button wherever that is, and join the community. We do have a whole lot of, we do have a lot of people coming in and chatting already, as we do see, it looks like Jelberg as well as CS Tricks saying go here. So if you do want to interact with the broadcast, you can do so. We will bring in your chatter. Now, being a broadcast that is mainly about the community feedback, as well as what you think about racing, this is a great opportunity for you to interact directly with the commentator here, as well as bring in your feedback. Let us know what you think during the race, as well as make sure to check out the link in the Facebook post. Head on over to the forums over at Zwift's forums, and they actually have a forum, if you guys didn't know, where they take feedback on all different types of topics that are all around Zwifting. And we specifically have one in the racing sub-forum around Zwift Community Test Labs for every single race. Race number 6 feedback post has been posted already, so head on over there and we will be watching for everything you have to say, as we're taking it pretty seriously. There's been a couple of people who have already brought some suggestions that were completely outside of the box of some of the things that we were thinking about bringing to the racing, and have been noted for sure. We're keeping tabs on everything you guys and gals are bringing to the racing. Now, for the race today, it does look like we have a solid contingent of KRT racers out on course. Dapper Williams, Jacks the Cloud, James Hodges, Jonathan Levi, last week's winner, is out there as well. Looks like Brett Boniface is choosing to jump in here after yesterday's showing. Good to see Brett Boniface back into the racing scene. Long time racer. Now, last week's winner, we are looking at him right now. This is Jonathan Levi, and we're definitely going to be watching out to see if he's got the winning move again, as last week he showed us that it was no problem whatsoever walking away. Well, maybe not no problem, but a solid result there for him out there last week. Now, I'm seeing G Ash. Now, am I G Ash here coming out of the UK on a TT bike of all things? Now, interesting to see the TT bike jumping in here, as this is perhaps not going to be the best for the race that's at hand here. But now third wheel from KRT making his way forward. Brick Barbera, good to see him in the B category. For those of you who are wondering, why do I see A's and B's all mixed together? Because we're also looking, as far as the community racing goes, we are seeing this great dynamic between the A and the B categories being mixed together and being able to push each other out on these courses. And so I think it's a great setup for the riders. Now, Ash, I think just realizing that he was on a TT bike, looking to slow down, I think he is trying to swap bikes, or maybe he's just done for the day, but we'll see if Ash is able to jump onto another bike here real quick. And you do have to hit 0 miles per hour to make it happen, and it's all said and done already, I think, for Ash. Too bad, as I think he just is realizing he was on that TT. Moving forward, though, let's go ahead and see how things are going at the front end of the race. Gardner here from the BRT team we are seeing, as well as it's Belgi from Vision. At the front already, though, a ghost power-up, one of these invisibility power-ups being popped here. It looks like it is going to be Belgi here from Vision right now, looking to sneak away off the front, as we are seeing the invisibility power-ups being used immediately from the gun. And that will be a power-up that I believe he did collect through that lap finish banner. He did go under as they left the piers just a moment ago. Kayland here looks like trying to follow up that move. And we do have 2 off the front already. Not sure this can go much of anywhere. Amanda Koger's in here as well from Show Air 2020. I believe this is going to be amongst the women's race. Amanda is out here. I'm going to look through and see if we have any other women competing out here, but she's going to try and show the boys what's up out here on this hilly reverse course. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the hilly reverse course, it's one of the old school racing courses out on Zwift. We do head through the S's, as you can see. This is just a couple of little undulations here before we do hit the sprint section out here. And this course specifically is fairly challenging when it comes to the climb, as we have like a 3.5 to 4 minute climb on the reverse Watopia climb, but it has a little bit more of a ability to draft on it, so a little bit more of a tactical climb. And so we wanted to use this specifically because the tactics are what we're looking to shoot toward, and whether or not the groups are able to work together to try and create breakaways and use the energy that they do have in their legs in the game. The burrito power up here now being popped at the front end of the race. I believe that is going to be Chapa, I would think, and yet that is going to be Chapa off the front with that burrito a little bit, making sure that nobody can draft on him. But Kaylin and Jay Leclerc here from the KRT, they do not care one bit as they're looking to try and walk away here. Now, I am seeing Kaylin in a 3R kit. I think that might have been just something that he was using momentarily, perhaps for a group ride, but I believe Kaylin's still racing for the KISS Racing team. 3 off the front now. Hodges here, it looks like 3.2 watts per kilogram, looking to not close anything down. Morton Vang watching his teammates ride away. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but immediately the gap has gone out. And that is one of the goals out here today, is to see whether or not the dynamics that we have changed with the pack dynamics, with some of the physics in game, do allow for rewarding of the efforts of the team members or a pack that has organized itself off the front. One of the feedbacks we've seen many times before from the community is that an organized group is not able to stay away from a group that is larger than it, that is not pulling as hard. Now we see Williams here now with an arrow power-up, shooting off the front here. Gets an immediate 3 seconds. Morton Vang here now, 4.2 watts per kilogram. Not looking to pull his teammate in. 3.3 here now, as you can see on the front end of this group. 3.3 watts per kilogram, that is, as you can see there, watts per kilogram on the right-hand side of the screen at all times. Williams here now, 5.6, 3 seconds up, 145 beats per minute. Looking to hang on to this gap. 2 seconds up here at this point. Does look to be closed down little by little here, and 29 miles per hour, as you can see. Now, the C and the D category have gotten off to a start here as well. We will be covering their race as best as we possibly can too, and we do see here, it looks like, as we jump in with them, they are heading on over toward the lead group. It looks like in this in the C-D category is heading on through the SEs at this point. It is going to be Stickman as well as Jay Beiser, who's been showing up week in and week out here for these test labs. Good to see Beiser jumping in again. Naylor now hanging out with them as well, it looks like, from that B category after dropping off from the A's, and B is going to be, looks like, as well, about 23 seconds back. The lead D rider is going to be Mine Shine here from the ZRG. That's the Zwift Riders Germany now, 6.3 watts per kilogram coming from him in that light blue accents and black kit that is easily recognizable for the ZRG. But this is going to be your main group for the C's. Bijor, it looks like here. Severance in there. Wharton's there as well. Dwyer from Ireland here. Racing for or IRL, in real life racing. Stickman and Dwyer here working together, though. Both of them coming out of Ireland. And it looks like the C category is going to have some Irishmen off the front here, maybe a little bit. Stickman here looking to stick a solid gap at this point. But no heart rate monitor. Maybe not going to be able to have a solid result here. Switzerland, though, but good to show up, though. Even if you don't have the setup absolutely perfect, it is a community race for fun. The main goal here is to be testing out the new features that we are putting into the game. So toward the front, though, Hackney along with Bijor now looking to try and close things down on the rider that did get away momentarily. Looks like they have done that as Stickman does get caught by the group. Back in with the main pack of A's and B's as they do head on toward the reverse Watopia climb here in just a moment. And we are seeing Alexis Lujan here, one of the ones I'd be watching out for a win in this B category. But Team Cryogen toward the front again. This guy showing up week in and week out and showing up as well for the broadcast and the racing of the ECT series. So good to see Cryogen here hammering away. Now on the front again, it's going to be Kalen hammering away with Hodges from KRT, showing the KRT showing up to try and win the race outright here today. And solid effort here coming from James Hodges as we're seeing a feather power up now being popped by Hodges. Now the interesting thing that I'm going to be looking for here, what are the power-ups that are being used? I have a feeling we're mainly going to be seeing feather power-ups being used by the riders here. If the setup that we're looking for in the game is working correctly here. And so the idea here now, we do not have the ability for a use it or lose it as of yet, or at least it's not something that we have seen yet. We are looking for that as well. But if we do have most of the riders using their power-ups, they should all be getting the same power-ups through each and every one of the banners. And the idea here is to have some equalization amongst the riders here for what they are going to use, rather than having this reward system that seems a little bit unfair and a little bit too much of a dice roll. Now you can either use your power up and then gain the same power as everybody else will through the next banner in order to work together for those. And that's the cool thing as well about it as well is from a team perspective, the team like KRT out here right now, they're going to be able to then try and say, okay, we all get a feather power up. Let's use that all together, create this break that we do see here now. They've all made the break because of that feather power up. And now when they go through the next banner, if they all get an arrow, bam, next thing you know, you have a solid 15 seconds times 4 of pushing at the front with an arrow power-up. So you've got these tactics now that teams can employ because of the way we've set up the rewarding of the power-ups through the banners. Let us know what you think of that. Go on over the forums over at Zwift Forums. There's in the racing sub-forum, the Zwift Community Lives Test Labs number 6 is in there. If you think this is a good idea, let us know. If you enjoyed the race, if you enjoyed the broadcast, let us know. I mean, obviously, it looks like it's seeming to work here from the breaks that we are seeing starting to form and how KRT has used this specifically here today. The other thing that I would say, too, is I'm pushing personally, like we need a use it or lose it type feature here, right? Because as they come through this next banner, a lot of the riders here may be saving arrow power-ups if they did get one at an earlier stage. And at that point, they could save it all the way to the end. But if they have a use it or lose it, it means tactically they have to use it through some point in this section of the course. And that then rewards riders for taking risks and using those. Otherwise, you just lose that risk-taking opportunity, and you just got to sit in and gain the next power-up. Some people might want to do that, though. Now, it does look like we do have an invisibility power-up that was held onto throughout the race here so far. It is going to be, I believe it is Kirchberg here who was using that power up. But Cryogen looking for a gap now. 10 watts per kilogram coming from Cryogen. The Frenchman over the top here. 436 watts. Bang here. Looking to close it down from KRT. Will they be able to do it? He might just be too strong if he has the continuance over the top here. Something you will also see with the pack dynamics and the physics changes today, the gaps should open quicker, but you will be rewarded for finding that draft well out there today. Now, it might not feel like the draft is quite as big or as rewarding from further back, but if you are able to find that draft, you should get quite a reward for using it. So a lot of different variables out there today that are a little bit different in there. We'll talk all about it in the forums after the race. But we do see the break here looking to try and happen here from Team Cryogen. Now, we do see some feather pops already being popped. Now, that is because the riders do realize that they're probably not going to be useful, and they're probably, or with the next banner coming up here, they're most likely looking to try and grab something different than that feather power up as they do come through that banner. So interesting to see how the riders are taking on the new changes to the racing here now. Looking through, and it does look like a whole lot of chatter coming on here. T Termont there is, why is KRT chasing each other? Great tactic here coming from Termont. That's a good question. What's going on with KRT with the chase there? Not exactly sure. Just double checking here. Did we double checking if we are live on Facebook? Good to see. We're not pulling in for some reason some of the chatter here coming from Facebook. I'm going to double check and see why that is, because I do see you guys are chatting. I definitely want to bring in all of the chatter from the Facebook posts, as it looks like there's plenty of people that have showed up for that and have a lot of feedback to give. So we'll be bringing your community feedback through the Facebook post in just a moment, as we need to connect our social media integration on that side of things. But I do see Termont there over at YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, as well as Gelberg and Jerry Delport as well over on Twitch. So let's go ahead and bring in what they're having to say. Where did they get power-ups? Jerry Delport saying, did they start with power-ups? So the power-ups in this specific, it's a great question, Jerry, and they will be getting them through each one of the start-finish, the banners, every one of the banners. So that's why we're using this course specifically. We wanted more opportunities. Sand and Sequoias, awesome course, absolutely love it. It's great for racing. It's got the flats, it's got the climbs, it's got rolling hills, great course. As far as just the course goes, it just didn't have enough opportunities, though, for power-ups when we were trying to make some changes to the power-ups specifically, how they're rewarded and things like that. So we headed on over to Wahili Watopia because it has the most opportunities for power-ups, and we wanted to see how riders would be able to use them. So it's the sprint section, the KOM, as well as the lap banner. So they just went through the lap banner. We'll see what they grabbed through this. Now, we also turned off some of the power-ups and made sure that the ones that are on are ones that are more tactical, more aggressive, ones that people can use that make a little bit more sense for making attacks in racing and trying to gain an advantage over the other riders out on course. Now, back into the racing, though, it looks like Hodge is already now trying to get away. He's grabbed a solid 9 seconds here. Cryogen making his way to the front here. And this is a situation here that I think the riders may not realize, because of the changes in the game here with the physics right now, that it's a little bit more dangerous than usual today. Hodges, if he can hold a higher watts per kilogram, a higher raw wattage and speed because of those changes, he might be able to walk away and TT away from these boys if they're not willing to do the work at the front of the pack. A lot of times we've seen feedback saying, look, at the front of the pack, somebody should at least have to put out, you know, a half a watt per kilogram less than the rider who or around a watts per kilogram than the rider that is putting out, you know, whatever it is that's in the break and has gotten away. And because of that feedback, we made a little bit of change here to some of those dynamics. And you can see here, KRT not doing the work to chase anybody down. And Vision here along with Choppa, and it looks like KC from Kirchmer Cycling here. We've got a few others out there as well, unattached riders, not super interested in making the chase. And with all the KRT riders in here, it's going to be up to these solo riders to try and shut this down. Otherwise, Hodges is just going to be gone. Now, it looks like he's not too interested in staying away, though, at this point, or maybe just burned a couple too many matches. So 14 seconds, though, is the difference now. Going to back off a little bit and try and hold on to it. No, kicking over here, 7 watts per kilogram, 8 watts per kilogram on this little 5% gradient on the SEs now. Lap number 2 of 4, 15 minutes into the racing. And this is about that point where anybody who went super hard, burned too many matches, and you're over threshold, the reality is 10 to 20 minutes is all you can do at that point, and this is the point at which you probably start to see people dropping off the back, and we'll have to wait and see if these attacks start making that happen. Levi now toward the front with the KRT team, maybe looking to close the gap to his teammate, but they're going to do it quickly in order to not disrupt things with the attack from Hodges. 16 seconds now, Hodges starting to open up this gap. Serious effort here from Hodges now as he looks to try and take the win outright. KRT sitting in as they're not going to chase down their teammate. We may see a jump from the pack here to bridge across, though. Create a team time trial situation off the front from KRT, and I think that's exactly what Third Wheel is thinking. Third Wheel kicking to 7 watts per kilogram now, going through this sprint section. Look to face the fastest time perhaps as well. Immediately grabs a 1 second gap, and now we do see a drafting power up being thrown down by, it looks like, Kirchner here, but 2 seconds is the gap now, opened up immediately. 170 beats per minute coming from Third Wheel, looking to close it down to Hodges, but he's going to have to do it quickly because there's going to be, after the Italian Village, a little uphill grind, and then it's going to head on over into the climb proper, and if they waste too much energy here at this point, he may not have enough to hang on over the top of the climb now. KRT now with Jonathan Levi now looking to bridge across, and looks like that's working out, but Cryogen sees the writing on the wall, kicks it into 13, and now closes things right on down to make sure he jumps on that KRT train, as it looks like it's going to be a team time trial with one rider from Cryogen mixed in the bunch here. Belgi now from Vision, along with Kalen. Vang as well. They all know this is the moment of truth out on course here. Jay Latak just looking to sit in at this point. It's almost too much. Luge, though, from WBR now, looking to grab a wheel. Lexus Luge, one of the longest time racers out on course as well. We'll see if he can jump back in here, as he does have a teammate. No, it's not a teammate. It's Caitlin actually just tricking everybody with a 3R kit on out there. So wonder what happened to Mr. Boniface. Brett Boniface did show up on the day, but I'm not seeing him in and amongst the leaders here, which would be very surprising if he wasn't able to hang on, as he's one of the strongest riders we've ever seen out on Zwift, that's for sure. So looking through, and we are seeing a whole lot of chatter coming from the YouTube channel as well. We're hearing from Turnabout. What exactly has changed in the dynamics? Could you explain some more, please? So, yeah, sure, Turnabout. So this is a great question. The main thing is that as we do see a little bit of attack off the front, let's just make sure we do not miss this, as Kirchner is really making a move here. And that was with an invisibility power-up, actually, in order to not be followed by anybody. So it looks like he's going to go across here, and we're going to have 4 up the road at this point with Levi, Third Wheel, Cryogen, and Kirchner. But essentially, we have made it so that the draft is not quite as long, so that it doesn't reward the entirety of the pack from everyone around you. Essentially, it seemed like the pack was just going way too fast from those who were leading. We also saw some changes. We also made some changes as well. Everybody knows about double draft. So we said, well, if somebody can find the draft, does get onto somebody's wheel, does use their pedaling well in order to grab that wheel, then we should reward it well. And so we turned double draft on. But we made sure, when double draft was on in the past without half draft, it seemed like the pack just went way too fast. Now, it seems that the pack is able to work together, finding that draft well without rewarding it too much and gaining too much speed from the riders in front of them. So those are some of the main changes. There's a couple changes as well that reward the kicks a little bit more, just by slowing the avatars down slightly overall. That we just slow everything, because in Zwift, up front, really fast-moving avatars was really great for the look of the game and the feel of the game, but it was just a little. But as far as racing goes, the reward for the wattage perhaps was maybe just a little bit too much and gave a little bit too much speed to really make the racing interesting as far as creating breakaways. So the avatars will be traveling just a little bit slower overall today, and the wattages that are being kicked out here will reward them very quickly. And with half draft on, you have to really find that wheel after the kick rewards them very quickly. So those are the main 3 things that are out there today. Then obviously the power-up changes add some more tactics, because they're all getting the same power-ups going through the banners. Those are the main changes out there today. Please let us know what you think. If you got ideas as well about more changes things that were outside the box of what we're thinking, head on over to race number 6, feedback over on Zwift forums, and let us know what you're thinking. We're seeing here as well, Darren saying, sounded like it was more powerful effect, but shorter effective distance. Nice job, Darren. You did. Darren, I just saw your chatter over on YouTube, and he says, nailed it. And yep, you nailed it. Right? Nice job there. Cool kid in your profile there. We're seeing from Niels Helden as well as people are chatting through over at YouTube. We'll bring in the Facebook chat here in just a moment as we are getting logged in on our social media integration over there. But let's head to the group now. It is 17 seconds now, and it looks like it may be all said and done as we have this TT off the front. Morton Vang doesn't look like he's super interested. Oh, no, they're waiting up for him. But Kirchner sees that Vang is on his way to the group and says, no, KRT. I've got enough of you in this group at this point. We need to push this pace. Morton is not coming across for free at this point. And it looks like he's trying to make it as difficult as possible for Vang to come across. Burning some matches, he's hoping, at 182 beats per minute, and he has to do more than what Kirchner is doing on the front there. We see 6.1 from him, but Kirchner now 6.7, 6.8. Vang now saying, come on, it needs to get closed down. But at 184 beats per minute, can he make this happen? He's got to close it now. Porter was trying to get a free ride, but it doesn't look like that's happening as Vang opens up a solid 2-second gap over E. Porter here. Porter's going to have to be in no man's land chasing this down. Morton now 190 beats per minute, trying to get to the wheel of Levi. Levi trying to give him that wheel. So they've got the 3 KRT riders in this group. Jonathan Levi, last week's winner, perhaps working for Vang as their strongest climber, I believe, on the team. Now Levi looking to jump back onto the wheel here, 190 beats per minute from Vang, but they got a 3-second gap to close, and Kirchner's on the front, driving the pace, 6.5 watts per kilo, 182 beats per minute, saying, no, it's not going to be easy for you boys. Cryogen saying, yep, let's work together. Let's make sure that these guys cannot chase us down easily. Now, as we see Team Cryogen going to the front over the KOM here, let's take a look at these times as we are seeing Cryogen here now. 3:33, Vang 3:34, Hodges a 3:34 over the top here. So solid times over the top, even with a little bit of slowdown. 3:30s are absolutely flying out there today. So about 36 seconds back, though, it looks like we do have Hodges along with a few others now trying to not necessarily close things down, but at least hold a solid position here in 6th place currently with Kalen. Belgi there from Vision, 7th right now. Hodges there, 3.0 watts per kilogram, sitting in 8th place. So solid efforts here all around as Luge is just hanging on in this B category. Maybe going to be getting an upgrade as he's hanging on. You know, he used to race a lot, Alexis Luge, and very strong rider, and perhaps on the training again here, racing again, looking to jump back into the A categories as he's been a B for a little while now, but hanging on with these boys over the top of this climb. Maybe going to be getting an upgrade here, which would be really cool to see him back in and amongst the A category again. Back to the front of this pack here, though, we do see it is going to be Levi along with other KRT boys. KRT ride or we have to wait behind. We're hearing from Belgi. And so Belgi's saying, come on, KRT, make a move, and wanting something to happen here. And Hodges now, you know, saying, okay, fine, I'll go to the front. And, you know, we do get feedback from Kalen and Hodges once in a while saying, you know, we do this for the workout as well. We don't just do it for the race win. And it's cool to see if they do put in a little bit of effort here. But at the same time, it's a race. And so I do understand too far in front of us here in front of Belgi. So Belgi's like, come on. But KRT, they're not going to work against their boys there, Belgi. And you're going to have to do some work along with Porter's gone here, though. So it's just going to be Luge and Belgi looking to work together, the two Frenchmen, along with Cryogen on the front. So we might start seeing some tactics here from fellow countrymen, perhaps, as they look to maybe shut down the KRT team that's out here. So it may not be about the team, the trade team today. It may be about the country, as the Frenchmen out here looking to take out the KRT boys, as they are definitely working against Belgi, as well as Luge and Kirchner, and then it's going to be Cryogen toward the front here. So a little bit more social media coming in here as well. KRT riding like TCH yesterday. Will they also get a 1, 2, 3? Good question there, Terma. We'll have to see. They've got a lot on their hands, though, with Kirchmer. Kirchmer's got a solid kick. This guy can sprint like no other out there, as well as Cryogen. We've seen some solid efforts from him. I thought Cryogen, with the jump we saw him make yesterday, was going to maybe win the race outright. Davis came across, though, pretty quickly with a big kick to the line. But we are seeing Levi now go in the front, trying to soften the legs up a little bit. Doesn't get much of anything over the other riders here, as we do see Vang, Levi, and it's going to be third wheel. Those are the 3 KRT riders in this lead group. We're most likely going to start seeing some cat and mouse games here to try and drop off a few of these riders here. Looks like Cryogen is taking the tactic of just making things difficult rather than sit back and follow. Sometimes the best tactic is just to make it fast, and nobody can attack if you just make it fast. And once in a while that does work. Now, with the kind of quality of riders we are seeing in here with KRT, though, not sure that tactic's going to work out too well. We do see Kirchmer as well as Cryogen making their way to the back of the pack here and just following KRT at this point. Hodge is now settling in and allowing his teammates to get away, as we do see the main pack of chasers here. This is the chase group. 4 riders here. Lexus Luge, Jay Lecoq looks like here, as well as Kayland and Belgi from Vision. Vision, WBR as well, versus KRT. And in the front, it's going to be Cryogen and Kirchmer Cycling versus that KRT team here. We are seeing Stefan Kirchmer winning this race. Strong rider. Zwift Brennan's letting us know. I'd have to agree. He's going to be one to definitely watch out for in the race today. We're going to head over to ZwiftPower.com. If you guys are unfamiliar with ZwiftPower.com, it is the place for community race results. So make sure to head on over there. And if you have not done so already, if you want to, a lot of times I do see people that are unfamiliar with racing out on Zwift. We do see Levi here, super familiar, obviously, with 10 watts per kilogram on the front here into this little 7% gradient at the end of the Essies. But a lot of times we do see people jump into races and then wonder why they're not in the results on Zwift Power. You have to register with ZwiftPower.com and do the agreement so that Zwift can share your information through the backend API to the website. Otherwise, you will not show up in the results. So if you are wondering why you might not be in some of the results in some of the races, it most likely is because you have not signed up over on ZwiftPower.com. So head on over there, as that is the main place for all Zwift racing results. All right, we finally do have the social media integration here with Test Labs on Facebook. Apologies on that not being turned on the whole time, you guys, but we now do have it. I am seeing Darren here, as well as Jacob Debsky as well. I do see your chat now. Mads Bang Anderson, great job. Thanks for all of your live streaming, Mads Bang. Nice job on the race yesterday. Appreciate you guys. You guys show up and do a great job with the Fusion ECT as well. We are seeing Larry Parker. This is a great question, Larry. I appreciate this question. Why always reward the break? How about strategic racing? Why not use the same dynamics and physics as in real life? Remove all power-ups, and same for everyone. Well, I would counter that with, do we have cornering in a way that can be used like in real life? No, we don't. Do we have crosswinds that can be used like in real life? Right now, no, we don't. Now, if we do in the future, that's a whole nother story. Do we have, there's a lot of different things about in real life that we just don't have that power-ups can replace. It's a different genre of cycling. I understand and completely am sympathetic to and believe that there should be racing out on Zwift like that, specifically what you're aimed at there, Larry Parker. But I would also say that we have an opportunity to add things. So to me, and what I'm hearing is like, why have sand pits in cyclocross? Why get off your bike and jump something and run and then jump back on? Why have cornering in single track in mountain biking? Why have force be more rewarded in a mountain bike climb? So within all the cycling genres, we're still rewarding the ability to pedal a bike in conjunction with certain skills that come specifically with that genre of cycling. And it's a little bit of tweak within each genre of cycling about what is going to be rewarded. If we do not have that in Zwift, then all it is raw wattage. All you have then is numbers on a screen rather than an interactive virtual experience of an avatar racing other avatars. Essentially what I hear from that argument is I just want my wattages and my weight to be the only thing that affects this cycling genre. That can exist by just having some stats on a page and push, right? By having these changes and by trying to really tweak this genre, it creates a skill base in the same way that we see in real life cycling genres between all of them. And so what we're looking to is to synergize the rewarding of the ability to cycle a bike with the virtual world changes that we can make. So I appreciate the argument, and there's a place for, I just want to see who's the strongest in wattages, but it is not really racing then outside of Wattfest. And it's not really like in real life cycling then. I would argue it's the opposite. It's just a Wattfest, and it doesn't take any skill, and it's not actually akin in any way to in real life cycling. So I do see the idea though on making it closer to in real life cycling physics, and that's actually what we're aiming at here a little bit, as the main complaint that we were responding to was that in real life we get more rewarded for doing the work on the front and causing a break, and that people were feeling like they were getting free rides to close down breakaways. So this, I think, with these setups with the physics are closer to what you would see in real life right now. Now the attack here from Jonathan Levi on lap number 3. 15 miles in at this point, 32 minutes of racing. This is last week's winner, looking to try and get in way. Vang closing it down to the wheel there. It does look like Kirchner and Cryogen are able to respond. KRT not able to get the upper hand. Will we see a response here from third wheel, or is he just going to hang on to the third wheel at this point? We do see the drafting power-ups being popped here. Now we are seeing it looks like sitting on the back third wheel, just looking to hang on, as I think the pace being set by Morten Vang, their main climber from the KRT team, trying to turn the screws and drop a few of the riders here. Kirchner now using that drafting power-up. Looks like Cryogen holding on to whatever he has here. We haven't seen any arrow power-ups yet, so interesting to see. Does he have a feather? What has he held on to this point? Perhaps a drafting power-up that he's still holding on to. Now, if KRT does get away here, it may be a threat, but Crowding shuts it down, it looks like, grabs onto that wheel. Now there's a gap between third wheel. Kirchner sitting in. It looks like Levi now 5.0 on the back here, 179 beats per minute. Jay Leclerc, Belgium, as well as Kalen, 51 seconds back. The gap within a minute still, but most likely not going to be closed down anytime soon. I'm going to go ahead and check out some more of the feedback here coming through. Thank you, Nathan. I better understand and agree with what you're trying to do. Thank you for taking time to explain. No problem, Larry Parker. And, you know, Larry, it's not actually a this or that. Why not both, right? Like, I'm definitely not a person who, I like a dialectic in order to get to the truth. And in some places, as far as what we can do scientifically here to try and, like, get to what the real definition of racing is, right? Like, I really want to, like, what is racing? How do we do it well? And how do we aim at it well within the game of Zwift? And so I like the back and forth, and so that we can kind of sharpen what we're after here. And I really appreciate any of the critique, because it helps us think. It helps us get to what we need to actually do and not just sit on our hands and not try and make things happen within the community with what we can work with at this point. Levi here now, we are seeing 10 watts per kilogram come from here as they're heading to the front end of the race again, as he's looking to have maybe the fastest time of the top here. 603 watts right now from Jonathan Levi. His racing team showing up in force again this week. Third wheel now toward the front. Now, not looking to close things down. They're just letting Levi go. They're not going to work against their teammate here. This is the same tactic we saw as last week from Jonathan Levi, getting that last lap attack going down. 5 seconds now. Cryogen now in the front, though. 6.4 watts per kilogram coming from Team Cryogen. Kirchner now sitting in, and he may be the serious threat, because we've seen him grabbing wheels, and I think he's waiting for that final 200-meter pounce. If he just follows wheels, he knows he's got the kick. And I'm not sure with the kind of firepower we're seeing from KRT here that either of these riders are going to be able to get away. But they're going to have to chase. They're going to have to chase, and it looks like Cryogen is the one that's willing to make those chases. And Kirchmer, he's going to be rewarded and going to be the one, the major benefactor in this league group right here because of that. Because Cryogen willing to do the work, KRT continue to burn matches, try and break things, while Kirchmer gets a free ride to the line for that sprint section out here. Now we're seeing a couple of more come through here. Good to see. We're seeing Tim Fulford saying, Brett, what, are we talking about Brett Bonifant? I'm not seeing Brett actually out there. Matt Brandt's out here as well. Easy to argue with yourself, dude. Matt Brandt, what are we talking about here? If you got some feedback, love to have it. You can head over to Zwift forums and let us know what you think. We were having a conversation with Larry Parker. He had some really great feedback there. If you got some ideas about what to change and what you'd like to see change in the racing, we love to have it here. And, we are all about bringing the critiques to the game 100%. So let us know what you're thinking out there for sure. We're also seeing Marco Schultz out here. I only hope that riding in a pack does not end in a time trial-like effort after a year. So, Marco, we actually saw that in race number 3, I believe it was, out on the New York course, and the physics changes were too much. Like, it got to be too much of a slowdown, too much of a reward for trying to create a breakaway. And next thing you know, it was just like a Watts fest. It essentially ended up where it was just like, who is the strongest rider in Watts, because the drag on the avatars was so incredibly high. So we actually found and tested to see where that was. And because the result wasn't great, we were like, okay, well, this isn't working. Let's go ahead and back that off a little bit. So we actually found a good threshold, it seems like, for about where it is that it's too much to have the drag on the on the riders out there. So some more feedback coming on through as we head into the last lap out here, as Mad Bang Anderson saying, solid point on the power-ups. I don't always love them, but you absolutely have a really good point. The power-up can sometimes make Zwift a little bit more like in real life. Where can you get an advantage by doing something smart? Maybe that's exactly what the power-up should do. In real life, not always fair. It's the same with the power-up. But yes, exactly. So, and the idea is that recreating in Zwift the opportunities that you have to take advantage in real life of good positioning, good cornering, it's a tactical thing. But at the same time, making it so it doesn't feel unfair. That's the whole idea with game theory, is people are only going to keep coming back to play if it feels fair and if I'm rewarded for the effort that I put in and the skills that I use. So we really want to try and find where is that dynamic. And as you can see, Zwift also trying to come out with some new power-ups as well. As we saw the invisibility power-up, the burrito power-up coming back. They're trying to think of new, obviously new ways to introduce things that will create more skill-based racing. Not just random number games, you get some really strong power-up and you just win, but rather things that synergize with the ability to cycle a bike, and reward both the tactic and the skill as the ability to cycle a bike. So, I appreciate the feedback, everybody, though, and you really 100%. I'm not looking, as we heard from Matt Brandt, we're not looking to just argue with ourselves here at all. Actually, we have an open forum over on Zwift's forums. Please let us know what you think. What ideas do you have? We'd love to hear them. Bring them in, and we will hear your feedback and respond as best as we possibly can and as quickly as we can. Game development takes time, but good ideas will not be ignored from ZCL whatsoever. Back in with the racing, though, at the front of the C and the D category. Apologies that we haven't been able to catch up with them too much so far, but we are seeing at the front here, it is going to be actually a little ways behind. I think this is as a lap driver, but it's going to be Fernandez here out of Spain, 24.2 kilometers in, and this is lap number 3, so this is the finish of the race. HZHR BC here, right behind him here at 5.4 watts per kilogram. We'll have to wait and see if these riders are maybe a little bit over category limits here. So maybe Dwyer and Bijzer here, I believe, that are within category limits. We'll double check though over on ZwipPower.com. 22 seconds up. It is Fernandez as well as HZHR. Double checking ZwipPower.com for the current live results. And in the C category, off the front, it does look like at 3.9 watts per kilogram. Paul Horta Hopkins, a little bit over there for the ZHR boys, I believe, as it is 3.2 is the limit there. So Paul Horta Hopkins, thanks for jumping into the race, but make sure to jump on over to the B category for your next race. Julian Bijzer along with Keith Robertson, and it is going to be Sean Dwyer, are the lead riders here now in this race, though. And we'll have to wait and see how this turns out. Will there be a breakaway up over the top of this climb? We'll jump back in with them in just a moment as we are seeing an attack here from Cryogen. And this is what we were waiting for. Actually, no, it was Vang that made the attack here. And Morton Vang here, as they head through the Essies for the final time, does have a gap here. Cryogen now 7.1 watts per kilogram, closes it down. Kirchmer trying to come across here, looks like, and it's 6.6 watts per kilogram coming from Kirchmer. Third wheel fading here at this point. Three behind here. It's third wheel, Kirchmer and Levi. There's actually one rider here mixed in amongst them here. Bergen from the Vikings has jumped into the race somehow, but he's not actually in the race. I don't know how Bergen is suddenly in the race, but good to see him. And I'm actually really glad to see Bergen from the Vikings as he's jumped in. Maybe a late join somehow with the new setups. I'm not sure if that was open somehow here, but good to see Bergen. Bergen, always welcome from the Vikings in the racing here, but I don't think he's going to be a part of the winning move or anything, as he's not going to be able to win as he wasn't there from the get-go. And he's actually not amongst the racers even. I can't even click on him, which is really interesting. I've never seen this before, but he is amongst the racers hammered away right now. So I don't know if suddenly we have the ability to jump in and be a this is the new power-ups. No, I'm just kidding. This is not the new power-ups to suddenly have a teammate jump in and start riding with you and give you some ability for 30 seconds. That's kind of a cool idea. Almost like a track racing idea, that suddenly you have a teammate to give you a quick little boost there or something. But suddenly Bergen from the Vikings is in the race. Interesting to see here. But Levi here does close things down. Kalen off the back still by 111, it looks like here. So KRT shuts down the attacks there from Kirchmer and Cryogen as we head into the final lap here, final half lap in the A category now. So back in with the C and the D category. This is the lead situation here. Dwyer now with Barbera. Now it looks like Rick Barbera in the B category looking to try and hang on to his position at this point, but it's the chase here from Dwyer and Julian Bijzer now. 4.2 watts per kilogram from Dwyer, looking to drop Bijzer off. It is a 1 second gap here at this point. Julian has to close this down now. Keith Robertson sitting in, expecting the team experimental rider to do the work for him, it looks like at this point. I'm not sure that that's going to be happening, as Dwyer is looking to walk away for Team Ireland here now. Karski here off the back by 18 seconds, sitting in third place, but this is the race for the podium here. First, second, and third. Dwyer, 3.0 watts per kilogram, 163 beats per minute in this C category. And it's going to be less than, I believe, about a K to the line here at this point. 4 second gap. Bijzer now seeing it starting to go away from him. Bumps it up into 445 watts now. Robertson sitting in, getting the advantage. Now pulling through, it looks like, as the speeds come up to 63 kilometers per hour. Bijzer up and out of the saddle, 4.8 watts per kilogram, as you can see. 2 seconds, no longer going away as Dwyer gets his attack shut down, it looks like. But no, maybe not. Continues to hold on to a 1 second gap now. 8% downhill gradient. Bijzer, knowing that he may be rewarded for a little more watts onto this section, rolls right into that wheel. 1 second gap. Robertson now comes on through. It's all shut down. Gonna come right to the line. Will we see him come right over the top? I thought maybe Bijzer was just gonna go flying by, but no, the rest up for the sprint looks to be happening. Solid race here between the riders here now. Absolutely killing it here in this C category. Julian Beiser, Team Experimental. Dwyer riding for Team Ireland here. It looks like Robertson there as well, representing Scotland here. So to the line, we've got about 500 meters. Dwyer now lining up to the front. Now Robertson looking to sit in though. Was edging out just a moment there to lead things out, but no, waiting for the kick, it looks like, as it's going to be waiting for that last second. It looks like not trying to open up too early. It's all about when. Dwyer, 3.6 watts per kilogram. Beiser, 4.1. Here's the kick now. Beiser goes to the line here. It's from about 200 meters. There's an arrow power up. Is there a dropout, though? He's just got nothing left, it looks like here. 9.2 watts per kilogram. Dwyer looking to follow it up. There's no other arrow power up, so Beiser saving that power up to the line. It's going to be Julian Beiser, followed up by Keith Robertson. Dwyer, with that attack over the top, looks to have suffered for it. Backing with the A Racing. We'll see the replay for the win there in the C category in just a moment here. Solid result there for Julian Beiser and Team Experimental. Back-to-back race wins, actually, for Team Experimental. Yesterday in the Fusion ECT. Now today here in the Zwift Community Test Labs. Levi now 6.4 watts per kilogram. Kirchmer now 5.3, trying to close things down. Kirchmer, like we said, waiting for the sprint. And Levi, knowing that this boy can sprint like no other, trying to break him on the climb. KC here now, 185 beats per minute, working so hard to close that gap. And there is no draft at this point, I believe, on the wheel in front of him, as Levi has opened up just enough, I think, to make sure that the draft is not there. It's a 1 second gap here, and Kirchmer's got to match watt for watt here, and sitting in third wheel, literally sitting in third wheel. And now maybe we're going to see some cat and mouse. This third wheel going to go right over the top here, as they've opened up a gap of 11 seconds here to Cryogen. No longer worried about Team Cryogen in France here at this point. They were unable, the Frenchmen, to shut down the attacks of KRT and Kirchmer now. But Kirchmer here sitting well, 180 beats per minute, trying to bring that heart rate back down, waiting for that sprint section. They're going to have to do some more 1-2 hits here. Rope-a-dope, Kirchmer, as he just has a sprint that I don't think these boys can work with. And we'll have to wait and see how this plays out here, but it's going to be a difficult one. Looking through the watts per kilogram for 15-second personal best. Levi does have a 17.9, but he doesn't have the same raw wattage, though. You know, there is a reality that, you know, he can throw down a killer sprint, but I believe Levi, actually, no, Levi doesn't have 11.36, so perhaps Jonathan Levi might be a favorite for the sprint here. We'll have to wait and see. Average watts per kilogram, 4.8 watts per kilogram on average for Jonathan Levi, who's been on the attack over and over again for this 4 laps out here in the Zwift Community Test Labs. Absolutely demolishing. 4.5 from Jonathan, Stefan Kritschmer. Third wheel has been sitting in at 4.0 over and over again. And I think he's got a personal best out here at 326 watt average, actually. So absolutely pushing himself in the test labs out here today. Cryogen still doing everything to close things down. This boy does not give up. I think he's actually thinking about 4th place on the day, as he does have Morten Vang trying to chase him down. Can he hold on to a 4-second gap to the line? Back in with the front runners here, as we are seeing Kirchmer here on the downhill from the wheel cam. 2.9 watts per kilogram from him. Everybody resting up for the sprint. It's going to be about the jump to the line. It's going to be about experience too. When it comes to the jump to the line, knowing exactly when to go and what's going to be most rewarded between these riders. Dead meat we're hearing from Morten Vang. I think Vang's saying that there's just nothing left in the legs here at this point. And Morten Vang, 2.9 watts per kilogram, as you can see, is completely faded at this point. Putting in a lot of work, I think, but we've also seen Morten out there racing a lot recently. I think perhaps maybe time for a rest week. Belgi from Vision here, we do see 8.3 watts per kilogram. It looks like there's a competition for them for a top 10 situation, as he's looking to kick over the top of the climb here. We'll just look at that real quickly. And this is to the top of the KOM. looking to drop off Kayland and get the better of at least one of the KRT riders. Rounding underneath the bridge here in just a moment. Cryogen, 5.5 watts per kilogram. This guy does not give, just continues to try and close things down. Will he be able to bring this in? 5 seconds. As soon as he catches them, it's going to be sprint time, though, if he does catch them. This is going to be amazing if this guy's able to pull this off here. Let's get in with Kirchner, though. 15 watts per kilogram. This is from way out. We're talking 500 meters. Jonathan Levi holding on to that arrow power up, it looks like, all the way to this moment, but Kirchner's got 15 watts per kilogram to give. Where's the arrow power up from Kirchner? Doesn't seem like he's got one. And Levi, 1,100 watts. Huge result here for Levi again here, but Kirchner looking to close it down, but Jonathan Levi able to walk away again with the solid sprint. Kirchner across the line for second. Third wheel looking to be coming in for third. Solid effort there all around. What a sprint there from Jonathan Levi. Killing it across the line. Yes, coming in from Morton Vegas. KRT comes across the line in first place. Fourth place does go to Cryogen and the KOM jersey out there out on course. So back in, let's see if we can jump in with the B category, you guys. I'm really hoping I can. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find them, though, out on course. I did not click backwards quite fast enough. We'll see if we can jump back in with them in just a moment. Let's take a quick look, though, at the results, as they should be populated now on our feed here. So let's go ahead and jump in first with the C category, as we did see them earlier, and we're waiting for a few more of the A's to get across the line here. But in first place, we are seeing, it doesn't look like Paul Horta Hopkins, but I believe ZHR is going to get an upgrade out of the C category. But Julian Beiger there, I believe, is going to be the official winner on the day, as after the results do get cleared up there. But we'll have to wait and see, though. Perhaps I got the watts per kilogram incorrect there. And then we are seeing, it looks like Keith Robertson coming across the line there in third place. Sean Dwyer then they're coming in for fourth. Michael Karski there coming in for fifth. Peter Stoop there for sixth. And it's going to be Flix Canton Lesage there for seventh. Eighth place going to Stefan Servenstein. Nice job to him for DBR. And then it's going to be Steve Hackney across the line for ninth place. So solid results here in the C category now. I was hoping to grab the B category as they finish up out here, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to grab their finish just as of yet. Was really hoping to grab that, but one of the things here that we do have with the ability to jump around is, as soon as I do leave the event, we are unable to find the other riders out there again. So I'm going to try one more time to see if I can find them by going back to me, and then perhaps I'll be able to jump in with them, but I'm not even sure I can click the back to me with the current tools that we have. But cross line first place, Jonathan Levi, by almost a second over Steven Kirchner there for Kirchner Cycling in second place. Third wheel, third place there. Solid result. Get up in the podium there for KISS Racing Team. 3 seconds back. Theory there. And Theory, I saw your feedback. I saw your chat. I saw there was a great post that you made about racing. And I believe it was in Transparency, Zwift Transparency, or maybe Zwift Racers. Keep it coming. If especially if you're going to really commit to doing some awesome feedback like that, head on over to the forums, as that's a place where things are watched a little bit closer. Social media is watched by the community and is a place to interact in the community. If you really want to get some of these ideas into the Zwift spaces, head on over to the forums. The link is in the in the broadcast for the Facebook broadcast. You will be able to head on over there and give your feedback specifically on a Zwift space there that is watched and monitored. Morton Vang there for fifth place, and coming across says he's dead meat. Solid result, though, still. Gulame Belge for Vision. Nice job out there, as well as Tom Kalen, Jacques Lecoq there in eighth, and then ninth place going to James Hodges. Real quick there, shout out to Christopher Virgil as well there for 10th place in that C category. Cross the line in first place, though, it is going to be Alexis Luge, it looks like, in the B category. Alexis, sorry we could not grab the finish of your race. It does look like you were able to sprint it across the line there for first. I'm going to take a quick look here at the B category results. It does look like Martin Jewel Madsen, as well as Get to the Choppa, still looking to get across the line here in just a moment as we wait for the category results. In the D category, we had the lone rider in the D category here, Mark Mighty Shine from the ZRT. Thank you so much for jumping into the Zwift Community Live Test Labs, and appreciate you jumping in for the D category. Solid result there for you there, buddy, as he takes the win. Martin Drew Madsen, followed up by Mark Gardner for the BRT team, and then get to the choppa for fourth. Give me Dan Fitzgerald and Fred Dusick just coming across the line just now, coming in for sixth place in the B category. So, all right, Zwift Community Live Test Labs, everybody. I think that's going to be it for us. Now, the main aim here, everybody, obviously racing, results, but when it comes to racing, in order to win and be competitive, yes, we want that here. We want you to race to be competitive and tactical, but there's awesome series out there for being super serious about the results, being super serious about how it ended up playing out. And we want that here, and we want to partner with and do racing with some of the community promoters that are out there, like you see us doing with ECT. We're keeping eyes on a few of the other promoters that are out there. I mean, in the past, obviously the KISS racing team and the KISS league that we've partnered with in the past, it's been amazing to do work with them. So, you know, but the test labs, it's more about the tests. You know, it's more about, okay, let's see how this is going to go, and it's about getting an amazing workout. It is about the results. Obviously, we have results and win or lose, and you feel good about it, but it's a for fun race to see how things play out as we test things out, get your feedback about it. And then as we really hammer things out and really get down to what it seems like the community likes, what it seems like is actually working, right, that the proof is in the pudding, that it's actually getting toward what everybody likes and what's a great experience and a fun experience, and also a great racing competitive experience, then maybe start introducing that to some of those other spaces that are more about the results, right? More about what ECT is up to. Amazing, clean, as close as it can be to clean racing. What the classics are up to. What you know, there's a lot of different promoters out there that are doing a great job. Jump into those races as well. You know, if that's what you're specifically looking for. But looking for test labs, we're out here getting your feedback. Head on over to the forums. The link is in the Facebook chat. Let us know what you thought today. Let's go ahead and grab a couple more questions and comments coming on through. Great race, KRT. We're seeing from Deborah. Deborah, thanks for jumping into the broadcast. We appreciate you hanging out and cheering on the KRT team. We're seeing a few others coming on through. Great idea. You should do a Zwift Madison race. We're hearing from Matt Van Anderson. Loving that idea. And well, with suddenly the Vikings jumping into the middle. How did Bergen, I got to hear, Breg, if you're in chat, what happened? How were you suddenly in the A race out of nowhere? Like, you came out of nowhere. And that was pretty funny, actually. Go, Julian. We're healing from CS Tricks as Bijah was able to take down the W here. Tag and a teammate, love it. It would be cool to have Tag. Like, are we talking WWF, WWE here? Like, Tag and jump in the ring? Like, that would be kind of cool. We could call it that. Like, it would be WWF Zwifting, or it would be like jump in the ring Zwifting. I don't know, something along those lines. Celebrating circles, we're hearing from Jared. He loves that, I think, whenever they do those. Great race. Thanks, Larry Park. Appreciate your feedback as well, buddy. Hodge is saying more 4% rolling hills, less 10% kickers, please. We're hearing from James Hodges. All right, gotcha. Yesterday's ECT course maybe for next week, guys, with specifically that feedback. If that's what you guys are looking for, perhaps we'll jump on to 6 Train, because 6 Train is a great course for the rolling hills. It's nonstop and lots of tactics on that course, as we saw in the race yesterday. Theories in here. Better this power up. I didn't like the ghost one from the last couple of races. No problem. You know, well, I thought that was a great setup that everybody just gets the same thing, and then you can use it or not use it and grab another one. But everybody got the same thing, right? And that seems really fair. Tom McKinnon clicked out a pedal and dropped the chain in the sprint. Oh, sorry to hear that, Kayland. But great job out there as well. I mean, you did a lot of work, obviously. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. As always, again, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Mixer, YouTube, Facebook, Mixer, Twitch. Sorry about that. Mixer, head on over to your favorite streaming platform. All of our VODs are available forever over on YouTube. So if you're looking for the VODs, that is probably the best way to watch back the VODs. Appreciate all of the viewers. Great job to all the racers as always. And watch out for I want to do Lava Boy, but it's not set up correctly. So all right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Great job to all the racers as always. Right on.